Hi, my name's Steve and welcome to the Seaside Allotment channel. And I'm exhausted today. It's been our open day and we've had, I don't know, must have had 100 people around the plot today. And I have just so many lovely conversations with people about growing veg. And lots of people really inspired to grow more of their own veg, to get allotment plots and everything. And that's what the open day is all about for me. It's not about selling stuff and, it's about inspiring people to garden. It's been really lovely. Of course, all the family's down as well, which makes it even better. And we've been giving away so much food. So many people coming around trying stuff and taking away samples to see if they like it. And obviously, some of the stuff's just being eaten fresh, and that's inspiring people as well. Favourite tomato, I think, of the day has got to be probably either Sun Gold or Indigo Pear Drop, and I think probably Indigo Pear Drop topped it in terms of people trying tomatoes. And it's really unusual. It's not the earliest of the tomatoes, but the yield looks really impressive so far. So yeah, really pleased. But actually this video has nothing to do with that. We just harvested the main crop onions, and that's not such a big event for us this year because actually we grew quite a lot of overwintered onions and a lot of shallots, and so that's maybe made up maybe a third, maybe a quarter or something like that of the harvest. But it was such a good harvest that the main crop onions almost seemed like just extra hassle really, rather than desperately needed. But it's been a reasonable crop. I think that we've lost probably 50% of some of the varieties of red onions to just bolted, and Leela, I think in particular, have fallen victim to that. Elisa Craig's probably been the best of the onions. Stir-on's been really good as well. It's always a good favourite. And I've had one batch of Stir-on, and I reckon they were from the same seed packet, but maybe not. But they were all Stir-on. And it just does not look like Stir-on at all, and they've just grown like a spring onion. They've just not bulbed at all, so that's been really weird, and it would have been disappointing but for the fact that means we've got masses of onions for pickling. So so I'm not too disappointed. So I'll just quickly show you what we've harvested, and then I'll just show you what's in the drying room so far. We've got a bit at home as well, but yeah, so before I fall asleep, let's just show you around. So I'll just pop things in the polytunnel just to dry overnight until we get them sorted. But these are the red onions off my plot, and most of those I think are Red Baron and Red Brunswick, and I can't really tell the difference between them, and they're all muddled up now anyway. But that's not bad because I grew those from seed. In fact, everything you see has been grown from seed. So I'm pretty happy with those, and they were all multi-sown. On average, we try to get 3 onions to a clump. These are the Elisa Craig, and yeah, these are really good size and really nice condition, really smooth, good intact skins. I didn't really grow very many of those. I think it was probably only half of a 40 module tray, so 20 modules, and I think I tried for 2 seeds in each module for those because they're such a large onion. And I've got a few more Elisa Craigs there, and then we've got a few shallots, and this is the second harvest of shallots. We've got one more still in the ground. I'm pretty pleased with these. They're not as good as the first harvest, but they are nice and firm. So yeah, pleased with those. And these are the Stir-on, and these were really spring onions that we just left to grow on, just because we just had too many spring onions. And that's why I like to do Stir-on, because if we start running out of spring onions, we harvest these, and if we don't run out of spring onions, then we just leave them on, and we get really good yield of these, fairly small onions. Just put my hand in there for scale, but lovely nonetheless. And we do get a few smaller than that, and they aren't here, they're still on Jenny's plot. But yeah, they'll go for pickling, and these are just that little bit too big for pickling, but just perfect for cooking, so I'm very pleased with those. And then just down there, that is the rejects, so hardly any rejects off my plot. All those are still usable, it's not like they've gone rotten or anything, it's just they've either split or gone to seed. A few of them have gone to seed, you can see the seed heads there, so they just need processing immediately, and freezing as fully processed onions all ready to cook with. All of those were harvested from this little bit of the bed, and the stuff that I'm going to show you in a minute in the drying room was harvested from that bit of the bed. So that little area there yielded almost all of those onions, which is pretty good. And we've got still in here pickling onions, which we'll harvest fresh tomorrow, fresh out of the ground, and those will go to friends and family for pickling, because we've got plenty of onions for pickling ourselves picked already. So there's quite a collection there. We're in the drying room, and we've got shallots there, shallots all down there, and shallots all down there, so 3 full shelves of shallots. More shallots there, different variety. Those are pretty nice as well, very pleased with those. In fact, we had an amazing yield of those. Elephant garlics, of course, we've all seen those. And then we've got some more onions that are drying out very nicely there, and those are stir on. They were actually also just another little bed of spring onions that we just left to grow on. And then underneath there, just a bit of the garlic. We've got loads of garlic at home, we just haven't processed it all yet. So there we go, and just while I'm talking now, I'll just pop up a few photos from the onions that we harvest on Jenny's plot, and some of those are calcots, and they're strange. So the intention with those is that you actually take the onion bulb and you plant it about a foot down in a big container and put compost on top, and then it grows like a leek, and you harvest that in sort of February, March time. And so that's interesting to try, and I'm going to use a smaller of those onions for that. And then, as I mentioned, we've got Leela. I think probably looking at the pile now down on Jenny's plot, we probably got about 50% that were good, and maybe 50% that went to seed. And we did have a bit of rotting with those as well, so I'm a bit disappointed with the Leela, and I know that other people have had problems with Leela this year. So whether it's just, you know, a one-off, or whether it's something to watch out for before, but generally speaking, the red onions for me this year have just not been anywhere near as good as the white onions. And then you'll see that there's a big pile of pickling onions, and I'd said they're spring onions, which just didn't bulb, and they're meant to be stir on, and we grow those as spring onions all the time, and they bulb up really nicely at this time of year, so I'm not really convinced that that batch of seeds were stir on. Maybe they were just some random spring onion that got mixed in. So there we go. I gotta say, I'm pretty pleased. I think we've got more than enough onions to get us through, and we do grow quite a lot of overwintered onions as well, and so they're all those seeds are growing now. And they're all up this high now, so I'm pretty pleased with them all. And that was really the only thing that I ever grew from sets were overwintered onions, but this year everything, and next year everything will be from seed. I just kind of prefer it, I don't know, just like the end-to-end nature of it a little bit more than growing from sets. And of course it does let you grow multiple seeds in a single plug, and therefore get a high density of growing, and high density, higher yields. So there we go. As you can tell, I'm pretty knackered. It's been a busy day, really busy, and it's been hot, but it's been really great fun as well. So with that, I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.